Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Arun has a burning question and I thought I should give him some relief by answering it. What is the question, Arun?
Sir, when deciding a cost of the product, the transportation cost is the major thing that is added to the product. And for transportation, sea route is the most important thing. But now, the two most important sea routes, that is Panama Canal route and the Suez Canal route, is majorly affected. So how does that impact the prices of the product we use?
First realize that what you're calling is called overheads. Overheads are things which are above the cost. One is basic cost of the product.
Okay.
Then you have overheads which are the additional costs. So transportation is one of them. But we got to realize, even if you made everything from digging in the ore, getting the metal out and going has transportation cost in it. Every single part has transportation costs. So it's like removing the food from the plate and putting it in your mouth. That's all the transport. Then transport down your throat. So it's like that. There's a transport cost involved in every single stage in every product.
So not only in particular that is a finished product which is getting transported.
Yes, it comes in every single thing coming inside India. Anything coming into India in any shape or form, including human beings, that's a transport cost. So keep that in mind. Second thing. So we're talking about this, they're talking about Suez Canal problem, they're talking about Panama Canal problem. So many articles showing transport cost is going up by 30%, cost will go up by 30%, 20%. They're just saying all this, but when I still go, the rice is still the same price, petrol is the same price. So what is this going on? Yes, that is true. Because cost takes time to ripple down.
So it will reflect in another 2 years or
not 2 years. Depends on the product and how much stock you have. You will only need to go buy new product when you finish what you have. So it depends on what product they are and how much stock we have of it in the shelf. So each product will vary.
So by this you say FMCG products will be impacted immediately?
No, it's very hard to predict. But it will affect because it's logical. Right? So if the cost moving goods goes up, of course it's going to go up. But when, how much, it's going to take time to filter down. Because there's two things. One is cost has gone up. The other is there's also delays which are coming. Right? So these two things are going to fuel inflation. Because one is prices going up. The other is in Panama Canal, it's not the crossing which is the problem. There, because of poor rainfall in the lake which is used for moving the ships across. If you see how the ships move in Panama Canal, there are gates. And the ship is actually taken up, gets into a lake and goes across the lake and then drops down and then gets back into the ocean. So that lake area in the middle where the water is used to bring the ship up, there the rainfall has been poor and because of climate change. And now there's a huge traffic jam there. Every day, 80 or 85 ships used to go. Now only 50 ships are going.
And it is reducing day by day.
Correct. So that is going to increase cost. Delays are going to be there. That delay is going to fuel more inflation. So one is scarcity. The other is delay in shipping. All this is going to fuel cost into inflation. And how much and where and which product, it's very hard to speculate. But it is surely going to happen. It's like saying the market is going to crash. You keep on telling, sir, it's over. When is it going to? I don't know. It will
Someday
crash.
it will happen.
Yes, same way this will. And even if the problem is fixed overnight, let's say somehow some God's miracle happens, Suez Canal problem solved. Panama Canal solved. No more problem. From today, no problem. This ripple on effect of what delays happen will take time to get again fixed. So that this bump which has come, you do not know when it's going to come. But we have to go through it.
So it's like the earthquake has happened in the middle, it's going to ripple and come to the sea waves.
So, like tsunami. When it's going to hit us, I do not know. But it's coming.
But the earthquake has happened.
Yes, it's happened. There's no preventing that. Okay, there's no way of stopping it. What can you do is go to higher ground. So that doesn't mean you can immediately be like a doomsday prepper and buy canned goods and keep it up your ceiling, buy cartons of milk and keep it to your... I'm not saying you should do that, but be prepared. And how much it's going to go up is very hard to say. Could be marginal or could be drastic because it all depends on how much the manufacturer wants to pass it on to the customer. Like Tata, their cost on battery came down and they gave it to the customer.
So remember, they reduced it by 80,000 rupees.
80,000, 1 lakh, they gave a discount. Because their cost dropped, they gave it passed it on. Some companies, they get a discount, they'll keep it to themselves. Like Indian government and oil. Petrol prices don't go down. They only go up. They never come down. And even this election cycle, people thought maybe the government for election they'll cut petrol prices. But they won't, because our current government's vote base and power base, they're not bothered about petrol prices. You will only get a petrol price cut is if the vote bank wants a petrol cut. This current government's vote bank doesn't need one petrol cut. They're more worried about other things. And they're fulfilling those promises. Those promises are being fulfilled, so that vote bank will vote for them.
Okay.
So that way petrol price is not going to correct in India anytime soon. But this is a big problem. And that's why even yesterday, the US and UK together have again gone to Yemen and bombed different other places and Houthi rebel places, trying to prevent this choke in Suez Canal, because the people who are affected the most by this choke are the Europeans. Because all of the goods from India and China,
but they don't have any resources for them
yes,
to manufacture.
because they're all used to buying things from China and India and Asia, Southeast Asia. So all that comes by ship through that small opening. Otherwise, it will have to go all around Africa, which will delay by 2-3 days. So they're the ones who are most affected.
It's more than 5,600 kilometers.
Correct. And they don't make anything in Europe. Yeah, they have manufacturing, but not to the level where China and India and the rest of the world is giving them. And all the cheap stuff only come from here. So they're in a big problem. That's why they're bombing this Yemen and they're trying to prevent this choke. And that's why they're leaning on Israel very hard to say, stop this war. You've done what you need to do. Okay, it's like a dead cat, you're beating it. Enough. So let's move forward and saying enough Middle East. But Israel is not agreeing to that. And it might protract into a wider war with Lebanon and Iran. And if Iran gets involved, US will get pulled into it. And if that happens, all bets are off.
It's like World War.
It is right now like this is how World War II and 1 also started. It didn't start like a big war. Everyone declared war. One day got up and said, we're all fighting.
A series of events.
Small fights between borders, started with small skirmishes, then between two countries, and slowly spread. And before you know it, in 1 year's time, it had enveloped everyone. That's why the World War is a period of 3-4 years when we talk. So same way, this can get protracted into a wider war.
Okay.
And especially what's happening in Ukraine with Russia and the American elections, what Donald Trump is saying, we do not know. So as an investor, you should be careful and keep an eye out. That's why a lot of investors play it close to the chest and keep playing their home country. That's why a lot of money is coming into India and playing on Indian, because a lot of Indians who are outside India are putting money into India. And a lot of foreigners want a stable place without any problem. Right now, India is the only place. Even China, with its economy, the way it's going, it's going through some tough times. So there's nowhere else to park your money. So India is getting a lot of cash inflows happening, which is what's floating our stock market. But it will affect Suez Canal. And
so importing countries or exporting countries, which will be most
all
affected?
Countries are importing and exporting, Baba. For India also, the other problem is even our exports will get affected. Because like our export cost is going up. See, one of the main reasons is we are competitive because we are cheaper. But when your transportation cost goes up, that gets added on. So now it might not be as cheap as buying from, let's say, there's a company in Morocco manufacturing a certain product, right, which is selling to Europe for $100. Okay, same product is made in India, going to Europe. We are selling it for $80. And right now we have cornered the market nicely because we are sending it from here. We are $20 cheaper. Now the Suez Canal problem has happened, pushing this cost up by 30%. 30% of 80 is how much?
24 rupees.
That's almost come to $104. Now Morocco and India has become more expensive. So Europe might decide to buy straight from Morocco because it's just across the Mediterranean Sea. No, there's no Suez Canal. So orders which are coming to India, export,
they'll have to look for another markets.
They'll be looking at another supply who's cheaper. Because that market in Europe, transportation cost is going up. Delays are happening. See how complicated it becomes. Unless you're the person who's sitting there and watching it on a daily basis, you will not know how it's affecting you. So so every country is exporting and importing, and every country in Asia is exporting to Europe, and Europe is exporting to India. It goes both ways. We are importing special machines from Europe. Those machines are all stuck. So we might look at another Japan or somewhere else, buy it from there, even if the cost is more than Europe, because right now we need the machines right now to get the work done. So lots of issues because of this.
Sir, one more thing. Bank and IT sectors are not affected by this. Which are the sectors which will be most affected?
Even bank and IT sectors are affected by this as a ripple because inflation will affect everybody.
Okay.
So banks will also get affected. The amount of loans you can borrow will come down. Your cost of manufacturing something is going up. Your borrowing cost goes up. Everything goes up. No, so it kind of pushes the world economy down.
So I thought only the bank operations and IT operations will be affected. Okay.
The only person who will not be affected is someone who's manufacturing like a pukar. Someone who, if you're buying poo in your house every day for your puja room, that guy will not be affected. But even there, you can argue saying petrol prices, you can see the ways it will trickle down all the way to him also. But immediately it will not affect him. But every single part will be affected. That's why they're saying it will affect the global economy. And whatever economy boom we are seeing, people have been asking what will cause this AI price to crash, right? NVIDIA stock to crash. And if you see NVIDIA's stock chart, there's a very famous meme going on now showing Intel market capitalization and NVIDIA capitalization. Have you seen that video?
No, I didn't.
Okay. This is Intel. This is NVIDIA. See how Intel is so high. This is 2015, not like long ago. See Intel, NVIDIA sitting here. Right? Now will come the crypto boom. Here comes the crypto. Crypto mining step picks up. Okay? Because Bitcoin mining requires GPUs from NVIDIA chips go on demand, so Bitcoin boom happens. So it's pushing up NVIDIA prices, see?
Okay.
It pushes up. See, then the crash happens here. NVIDIA prices correct, huge. There's a huge drop, 2018. So it crashes. So NVIDIA corrected. The same way you see, here the pandemic surged. A lot of people who work from home happened. People needed better computers. So NVIDIA prices again spiked. Then you see it crash again, slumps 2000 because of rising inflation and interest rates, supply chain issues, and Russia's tension. Price corrected. Same way this war, if it does happen, and this inflation pressure can push NVIDIA stock prices down.
Okay.
So this is why I'm saying wait and watch. Anything else?
How will it affect the share market?
Particularly share market, yes. There can come a market correction can happen. How it will happen, how much it will happen, we cannot predict.
Okay.
I can show you that NVIDIA. You can actually put that.
So that is specific to Intel and
yeah,
NVIDIA.
Just as a comparison. It's all looking back. I cannot say I'm looking forward what will happen. Who will know what will happen in Intel share price? Maybe Intel has some secret thing, every project they're working on, it comes out. Then suddenly Intel goes to sky high. Can't predict.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, thanks for watching the podcast, guys. I hope it was informative and entertaining as always. And me and Arun will see you in the next one. So, bye.
Thank you.